Hey, it's Debbie with the Live, Love, Beach to Bay channel, where we help you find your little slice of paradise here in coastal Delaware. So if you're watching this channel, you've probably been dreaming about making a move. Maybe you're retiring, maybe you're downsizing, maybe you've just been staring at your snow shovel for one too many winters and you finally said, enough, I get it, I totally get it. Now, I talk a lot on this channel about what the real estate market is truly like here in coastal Delaware. The communities, the builders, the things to watch out for. One thing I do not talk about enough is this: who you work with matters just as much as what you buy. Today we're diving deep into one specific type of real estate professional that I think is a total game changer for a very specific group of buyers. And I'm talking about the SRES. This is the Seniors Real Estate Specialist. I actually have this little pin. It is something that I got very, very serious about it, and we're gonna start at the beginning. What does it mean? SRES stands for Seniors Real Estate Specialist. It is a nationally recognized designation offered through the National Association of Realtors, and it's not just some fancy letters you slap on a business card. To earn this designation, a realtor has to complete specialized coursework that is specifically focused on the needs, the challenges, and the life transitions of buyers and sellers who are 50 and over. It is an unbelievably large piece of our population right now, and I am one of them. So we're talking real coursework. We are talking being a realtor who has invested my time, and many other realtors have invested their time in things like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and how that can truly impact your housing decisions. We understand the tax implications of selling a long-held home. We understand how to help people navigate a major move while managing a whole lot of moving parts, sometimes literally and emotionally. Okay, so think about it this way. You would not hire a general practitioner to do heart surgery, correct? You want the specialist. You want the person who has gone deeper into that specific area. This is what an SRES is. It's a real estate specialist who truly understands where you are in life, what you need from your next best chapter. And I'm absolutely living my best chapter here in coastal Delaware. A huge percentage of our buyers are coming from out of state, many of them in or near retirement, or having that specialized knowledge on your side is not just helpful, it's honestly essential. Okay, it really is essential. Who needs an SRES? Is this you? I don't know. I don't know your specific situation. I don't know where you are in those different stages of your life. But I'm going to paint you a picture and we'll see if any of this sounds familiar. Okay? You spent the last 20, 30, maybe 40 years building a life somewhere else. I did. I raised my kids. You've raised your kids. You've built your career. You paid your mortgage. And now you're sitting there thinking, okay, what do I actually want? Where do I actually want to live? And maybe coastal Delaware has been on your radar. It's on my radar for quite some time. Maybe a friend moved here. Maybe a neighbor moved here. Maybe a family member moved here. Maybe you have visited and fallen in love with the area. Maybe you just did a Google search for the best places to retire on the East Coast, and here we are. Whatever brought you here, maybe you searched YouTube and you said, let me see what coastal Delaware is about, and you found my channel, Live, Love, Beach to Bay. You know what I'm hoping you're gonna do? Hit the button and subscribe. You're approaching a season of life and you're making decisions that are layered. It's not just I want a house with 3 bedrooms, it's I want to be close enough to my grandkids, but not so close that they can just drop by unannounced on a Tuesday. I need to think about whether we can handle stairs in 10 years. I love first floor living. If you're selling a home that you've lived in for 35 years, you have absolutely no idea what you're supposed to do with all of that equity, we can help, okay? They are real concerns, and a general real estate agent, even a really, really good one, might not be fully equipped to walk you through all of that. But as an SRES, this is literally our specialty, and now it's my specialty. So if you're 50 plus, if you are relocating, if you're selling a family home and figuring out what comes next, if you're thinking about active adult communities or 55 plus neighborhoods, this is your person. raising my hand again. I'd like to think that you'll consider me. What an SRES actually does for you, the real stuff. So I'm going to talk about the real work that I'm going to do for you or for someone you may know that you may consider recommending to me. Let's get into the meat of this. What does working with an SRES actually look like? And what do they do differently than a general realtor? I'm going to walk you through several specific areas where an SRES really shines. That is a tongue twister, especially when you're relocating to a place like Coastal Delaware. First, they understand your financial picture in a way that most agents do not, okay? When you are buying in your 50s, 60s, or 70s or beyond, your financial situation looks really different from a 30-year-old buying their first home. You might not be drawing on retirement accounts. You might be dealing with a pension. You might be using proceeds from the sale of your long-held home. And all of these things have tax implications that can significantly impact what you should be doing. Okay? An SRES is trained to recognize these nuances. We are not, and I am not a financial planner, but they will be the first to tell you that. They understand enough to ask the right questions and to know when to connect you with the right professionals. And they have those professionals in their network, like a CPA or a financial planner who can help you make sure this move is structured in the absolute smartest possible way. Here in Delaware specifically, we have some really favorable tax advantages for retirees. Delaware has no sales tax. We have no tax on Social Security income. And there are significant property tax discounts for seniors. An SRES who knows this market is going to make sure you understand exactly what you're walking into and what you are walking away from. Second, they know how to help you think about the long game, not just the immediate, the today, tomorrow, and in the next week. This is huge. When you're buying a home in your 60s, you are not just buying a home for today, you are buying a home that you want to grow into. And that means things like this. Is it a one-story home? Does it have a first floor primary suite? Is there a walk-in shower? Are there steps at the entrance, steps in the garage, steps into the backyard? Is the community walkable? Is there maintenance included so you are not out there mowing your lawn at 75? Not me. I don't mow and I don't weed, okay? These are not things that every buyer thinks about at the moment, especially when you're excited and the house is gorgeous and you are picturing yourself sipping wine on the back porch. But an SRES is going to slow you down and make sure you're thinking about all of it, all of those nuances. And in Coastal Delaware, this is especially relevant because we have so many different housing types. We have maintenance-free communities. We have active adult communities. We have 55 plus neighborhoods. We have everything from single family homes to villas to condos, and our SRES is going to help you think through which housing type truly fits not just your life right now, but where you are potentially headed. You know, we can't always live in the today. We've got to think about all of those tomorrows. Thirds, they're experts at handling the emotional complexity of a major life transition. I want to talk about this one because I think it gets overlooked. Moving in this season of life is not just a logistical event, it is an emotional one. You might be leaving a home you've lived in for decades. You might be leaving your community, your church, your doctors, your people, your tribe. This is a big deal, okay? And SRES understands that the buying process is happening inside of a much bigger life transition. They are patient. They know how to slow down. They are not going to rush you into a decision. They are going to make sure that you feel seen and heard and that you actually end up somewhere you love, not just somewhere that check the boxes on a list, okay? You've got to love it. And you've got to love it for a very long time. I cannot tell you how many times I've talked to buyers who felt like their agent was pushing them to just make a decision and move on. And that is not what you need when you are making a move of this magnitude, okay? You need someone in your corner who understands the weight of it, the absolute weight of it. I'm going to repeat that, understands the weight of it. Fourth, they have a network that is built for your needs, okay? SRES is not just a real estate agent, they are a connector. They typically have strong relationships with elder law attorneys, estate planners, senior moving services, financial advisors, and other professionals who specialize in helping people navigate this season of life. And it is a beautiful season, an absolute beautiful season. I know, I'm enjoying it. When you are relocating to Coastal Delaware from out of state, you need to build a whole new professional network. You need a new doctor, a new dentist, maybe a new estate attorney to update your documents. And SRES can help you start building that network from day one. That is an enormous resource, especially when you are starting fresh in a new area, in a new community, in a new state. Unbelievable sunsets. And fifth, they understand the active adult and 55 plus community landscape in a way that is just really hard to replicate without that specialized training. Here in Coastal Delaware, we have some really wonderful options for buyers looking for lower maintenance, a lifestyle with great amenities, communities where you have the clubhouse, the pools, the pickleball courts, the walking trails, the social calendars that are packed with things to do. And each one of these communities has its own rules, its own HOA structure, its own vibe, okay? And SRES, who is active in this market, knows the difference. They can help you figure out which communities fit your lifestyle, your budget, and your personality. Because here's the thing, not every, community is the same. Some are very social, very active. Some are quieter. Some are great for dog owners. Some have age restrictions that affect who can visit and for how long. These are things you want to know before you buy, okay, not after you buy. The Coastal Delaware angle, why this matters. And I think specifically that you just need to know who you're working with, okay? I'm gonna bring this absolutely home and talk specifically about why having an SRES matters so much here in Coastal Delaware. It wasn't just a designation I wanted because I thought it would look nice on my business card. I really love helping so many buyers that are coming from somewhere else. We're talking New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, New York, and well beyond, okay? Most of them are making this move as part of a major life transition. They're downsizing, they're considering retirement. Maybe it's a health change. Maybe it's just the desire to live near the beach, which was what drove me here. Okay, this is not your typical local move. This is a life-changing relocation, and the stakes are high. When you're moving from out of state, you do not have the local knowledge. You do not know which communities are the best for you. You don't know which builders have the best reputations for warranty service. You really don't know the difference between one area or the other area unless you spend an extended amount of time here. You need to know what the road infrastructure is, what the medical infrastructure is, and you've got to absolutely be confident that you're going to have access to all that you need to live the lifestyle that you want. Delaware property taxes are record low, but you want to know how to qualify for that homestead opportunity. And SRES, who is rooted in the market, brings all of that knowledge to the table, okay? I'm not just gonna help you find a house. I'm really gonna help you find a lifestyle and an ecosystem that makes living here absolutely fabulous and exceeds your expectation. Again, that really is, that could be my, kind of tagline on my business card. I want to exceed your expectations. Coastal Delaware market is moving very, very quickly. And, we're growing, we're expanding, we're, enticing people to really consider making this their forever home. So make sure you've got a knowledgeable agent by your side who knows the market, knows how to navigate it, and is genuinely committed to exceeding your expectations. That's what I'm all about. So it's, there are so many common myths and misconceptions about, hiring a great buyer's agent, and I'm here to quell, anything that you are concerned about and things that I do hear fairly often. Okay, the number one myth is an SRES is only for people who are really old. Absolutely not. It is for 50 plus, and I'll say it again. The SRES designation is focused on buyers and sellers who are 50 and above. So in your early 50s, if you're in your late 40s and just maybe pondering what next, you really would love to chat with an SRES expert, okay? We are absolutely relevant. The training is about a life stage, not about an age, Okay. Myth number 2, working with an SRES costs more? Absolutely not. And actually, I truly can honestly tell you that I negotiate often to not have my buyers ever have to have any pocket compensation to me. So, right, you're not going to have to pay extra out of pocket to work with someone who has specialized expertise. So literally there's no downside to choosing a realtor who has gone this extra mile to earn this designation. And myth number 3, any good realtor can handle a senior relocation. I'm not going to say that that's true or a myth. I think that there are fabulous realtors everywhere, and there are talented agents out there without the designation who do wonderful work. But the designation matters because it signals intentionality. I was intentional about wanting to have more knowledge so that I could help that specific demographic of individuals who are considering a big change. So why are so many buyers making the same kind of life-changing move that you are? Well, that's the kind of specialized knowledge that is genuinely valuable. People are looking at Delaware. It is now rated in the top 5 for fabulous states across the continental United States to consider retiring to. So if you're considering relocating and you're in that kind of tweaky 50s plus age, I would love for you to reach out to me. Work with a trusted advocate who knows the local market and understands your specific needs, right? And don't allow that agent to leave anything on the table. Let that agent advocate for you. As an SRES specialist, I will always advocate for you each and every day. But I'm also going to advocate you for any kind of real estate transaction that you are considering. Things to really ponder and ask a potential agent that you're considering engaging. Ask them how many SRES, specific buyers that they have worked with. What is their specialty? What does their network look like? How do they really engage and really establish that individual's next chapter and really launch them into the best lifestyle possible? You want someone who is not just certified, but is actively working with buyers in your season of life on a regular basis. I am. It is the majority of my business right now. How familiar are you specifically with the Coastal Delaware market and the active adult and 55 plus community landscape? This is not a generic market. You want someone who truly knows the area and knows the ins and outs. Okay? Can you walk me through your process for helping out-of-state buyers navigate a relocation? You want to hear what their process is, what they've done before, and what they will do for you at this time that you're making the decision. Do they have resources and referrals to help get you started? Do they have those relationships with those experts that are really going to be necessary as you make this transition to Coastal Delaware life? And honestly, just spend time with them. Do they listen? Do they ask you thoughtful questions about your life and your family and your interests and what you're actually looking for? Or do they just start throwing listings at you? The right SRES is going to take the time to really understand your story before they ever show you a home. Okay, before they ever show you a home, and that is so important. I hope you've enjoyed this. Live, love, beach to bay. Until next time, I am an SRES designated realtor. It was a certification that I enjoyed earning, and now I am absolutely putting it in place with all of my fabulous 50 plus relocation clients. Have a great day. Remember to hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me if you would pop in every week or so, because I drop new content. I live here, I play here, I work here, and I'm absolutely thriving here, and I hope you're considering doing the same.